Hello everyone and welcome to Theta Sigma's Doctor Who podcast number 43. In a change to the advertised programme, in this week's Christmas special episode, I'll be reviewing all the Doctor Who Christmas specials to date since the show's return to our screens back in 2005. The planned Big Finish reviews will be appearing later in the schedule. Also in today's show, a new theme tune, and has the Michael Grade effect finally reached Theta Sigma's Doctor Who podcast? So as you can hear, I have a new opening theme tune. I rediscovered this brilliant interpretation of I Am the Doctor as I was cleaning out some files from my backup hard drive recently. I have put out a request on the Facebook page for the originator of this version to get in touch, as I would like to ask them personally about using this piece for the show's introduction. Sadly, as yet, no one has come forward. If this is your piece, please could you contact me at Theta Sigma's Doctor Who podcast on Facebook, or email me at the usual feedback email address, which is respectthething@outlook.com. That's respectthething@outlook.com. If I don't hear anything, I'll assume you're happy for me to continue using the piece on the show. Now, let's get Christmassy, Doctor Who style.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may take a moment during this terrible time. It's hardly the Queen's speech, I'm afraid that's been cancelled. This crisis is unique, and I'm afraid to say it might get much worse. Rose! I would ask you all to remain calm. Please, Doctor, help us.
Merry Christmas!
That's the Doctor. What do you mean that's the Doctor? Doctor Who?
You will surrender, or they will die.
Tell them this planet is armed, and we do not surrender.
The face of an alien life form was transmitted live tonight on BBC One.
That man was your prisoner!
He left me, Mum. Left me, Mum.
I can summon the Armada and take this world by force.
He's just walking. He won't stop walking.
It's not just the whole country. It's the whole world.
Look in the sky. There's a great big alien invasion and I don't know what to do, all right?
No sign of the Doctor.
Nothing yet.
I'm gonna get killed by a Christmas tree! Help me.
Surrender or they will die. Your choice.
The first of the Christmas specials to air was The Christmas Invasion, way back in the Christmas of 2005. This was the first full episode to feature David Tennant as the Doctor, though in fairness to use the phrase feature is something of a stretch, as Tennant's Doctor doesn't make a proper appearance until about 3/4 of the way through. The story starts well enough with the TARDIS crashing on the Powell estate, and the Doctor is suffering from the trauma of his recent regeneration. Collapsing, he's taken to Jackie's flat and laid in bed, where he then stays for a sizable chunk of the rest of the story. The minor characters then carry the story, being attacked by robot Santas and the Sycorax blood control respectively, until the Doctor is revived by that good old English answer to everything, tea. Within a fairly short space of time, the Doctor has not only convinced the previously uncertain Rose that he is the Doctor, but he's also defeated the Sycorax and saved the Earth once again, despite losing a hand in the process. So what did I think? Well, given that this was the first Christmas Doctor Who special I had experienced, I was well pumped up for this. The start was excellent, with the TARDIS crashing into walls and knocking over the dustbins, but once the Doctor had collapsed and was in Jackie's flat, this one fell a little flat for me. This was, to all intents and purposes, a Doctor Light episode, and I've never been a fan of those, if I'm honest. Oh, there's nothing wrong with the performances of the rest of the cast, but this is Doctor Who and not the Rose and Mickey show, or the Harriet Jones show. The climax was good, however, and thinking through it again reminded me that there are times when the Doctor can be somewhat cold-hearted.
What?
Who are you? But where am I?
What?
What the hell is this place?
What?
I shall descend upon this earth and shine! Act off!
What was that for?
Get me to the church!
Prepare your best medicines, Dr. Man, for you will be sick at heart.
You shouldn't even exist.
Who is that man? Such secrets to unlock.
Trust me.
It's Christmas.
Harvest the humans! Reduce them to meat!
Your friend! The one you lost! Did she trust you?
Whatever's been done to you, I'll reverse it. I am not about to lose someone else.
Oh, they will suffer! So suffer! This planet shall be scorched!
The Runaway Bride was next up, with the Doctor finding an interloper in the TARDIS while in mid-flight, a feat which he says is impossible, until he finds that the Huon particles that Donna has been imbibed with are still attracting her to the same particles in the TARDIS. With Donna introduced, the chase is on to find out who is behind this horror and why. This story is full of great lines and humour thanks to the character of Donna and her relationship with the Doctor. These two bounce off each other as brilliantly as actors as they do in character. One slight drawback in this story for me is the use for the second special running of the Robot Santas. While they've been slightly upgraded, their only purpose, as far as I can see, is to keep up the Christmassy feel of the special. However, that's really not necessary, as there's enough else in the story to make that known. But to be fair, I can forgive the bad Santas, given that one of them leads to what for me is one of the very best scenes from any of the Christmas specials. The TARDIS chasing a taxi down a dual carriageway as the Doctor attempts to rescue Donna from the clutches of one of the rogue Santas. Aside from all the laughs that this story brings, we are again shown a dark side to the Doctor when it comes to his destruction of the Rachnos. Not only do we see the Empress' children flushed away mercilessly, but Donna has to rein the Doctor in, telling him he can stop now. In fact, at the end of the story, Donna becomes the Doctor's salvation, convincing him that he needs someone to travel with him. One major downside to this story for me was the TARDIS takeoff at the very end. Why, for no reason, do we see the TARDIS not dematerialise, but soar into the sky like a rocket? No explanation was ever given for this blasphemous shot, and thankfully it's never been repeated. On the whole, this was a good story, but it fell down on a couple of things that could have been easily avoided.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Christmas.
You've got a rock storm heading for the ship and the shields are down!
Information. You are all going to die.
I'm the Doctor. I'm a Time Lord. I'm from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Kasterborous. I'm 903 years old and I'm the man who's going to save your lives and all 6 billion people on the planet below. You got a problem with that?
Information. Kill.
Don't you dare, you aliens! Don't you dare!
Information. Kill.
Titanic Falling.
2007 saw the Christmas special that has to date probably been received with the least affection amongst the fans of the show. However, whenever I'm asked, Voyage of the Damned is always top of my list. Romance, action and stunt casting that really worked. From the opening scene, well, technically the closing scene of the previous season, this story really gripped me. I couldn't stop watching. Tennant is at his Doctor's confidence bordering on arrogant best throughout this story, and the casting of Kylie Minogue was, in my view, inspired. As someone who grew up watching Neighbours, for those who don't know, that's one of the very popular Australian TV soap operas, when I heard of her casting I was more than doubtful, but I was wrong. Minogue played Astrid Peth brilliantly, never understated, but never overplayed. The action and suspense were brilliant, straight out of the 70s film The Poseidon Adventure, and Mr. Copper was a comic genius of a character as well, superbly played by Clive Swift of Keeping Up Appearances fame. Another leading British actor, Geoffrey Palmer, was back in the Doctor Who fold, making his third appearance in the show, after playing parts in both Doctor Who and the Silurians and in The Mutants. Palmer plays the deliciously morose Captain Hardacre. Baddie or just misguided? Discuss. Seriously though, Palmer is brilliant in this role, and I couldn't imagine anyone else playing it. The story ends with a wonderfully realised kitsch ending where the Doctor just about manages to fly the Titanic over Buckingham Palace with the thanks of the Queen. For me, this is a superb story, brilliantly realised, and spawns one of my favourite pieces of Doctor Who music, The Stowaway.
Who, me? Oh, I'm standing right here. Hello.
Don't be stupid! Who are you?
I'm the Doctor.
There can't be two of you!
I'm the Doctor. Simply the Doctor. The one, the only, and the best.
This creature came out of the shadows. A man made of metal.
They are my knights in shining armour.
Okay. I think we should run.
What manner of men are they?
Cybermen.
Save yourselves! Delete.
You monstrous freak.
Merry Christmas to you too. Behold my power.
The Next Doctor, 2008's Christmas offering, saw much speculation due to the very title itself, and when David Morrissey was revealed as playing a lead role in the episode, many fans speculated that there would be a regeneration at some point in the story. In fact, The Next Doctor tantalised and teased until the Doctor worked out what had happened to poor old Jackson Lake. Now, I've never been a fan of Doctor Who historicals, so this story was never going to come high on my list. However, it delivered, up to a point. Again, there was much Christmasness about it, as well as the return of the Cybermen, which in my book is always a plus. However, the Cyber Shades were just wrong on every level for me, and the Cyber King didn't work at all. A shame really for a story that started off with so much potential, but finished up a pile of Doctor Who Christmassy nothing.
It said a demon fell from the sky. Then a man appeared, a man in a blue box. They called him the Sainted Physician. He smote the demon, and then disappeared.
I held him in my arms. The Master is dead.
And yet, you did not see.
What's that? Part of him survived.
Tonight, Mrs. Saxon, he returns.
The Master is part of a greater design, because a shadow is falling over creation. Something vast is stirring in the dark.
I'm going to die. Well, I was told. He will knock 4 times.
What is it? What's inside your head?
The drumbeat! Louder than ever before! The never-ending drums. My name is the Master.
Every night, Doctor, we have bad dreams.
This is what we have seen, Doctor. The darkness heralds only one thing. The end of time itself.
Doctor! You're starting to remember!
Don't you dare! I'm ordering you, Lucy! You will obey me!
Till death do us part, Harry!
This is the Doctor's final battle. He must stand at arms, or lose himself and all this world.
The heartbeat of a Time Lord.
The Master is going to kill you. And kill him first.
The next Christmas special to hit our screens was The End of Time Part 1. Now in fairness, you can't really look at this as a standalone, as it was just the first part of a 2-part story. So for the purposes of this review, I will be looking at the complete story. End of Time was roundly slated by the vast majority of fandom, and in one sense I can understand why. The Master's rebirth was poorly handled, and to have him leaping tall buildings almost Superman style and firing laser bolts from his hands was way out of character from the suave, sophisticated Master that we all know so well. You have to feel sorry for John Sim, who did do an amazing job as the Master with the script that he was given. The story also saw the return of the Time Lords, long since thought gone for good. I for one was really excited about this, but as I learned that they were returning as one of the Doctor's foes, I was a little uneasy to say the least. Yes, Gallifrey has had its fair share of evil Time Lords, that's no secret. Look at the meddling monk, the Master, the Rani, and even Time Lord President himself, Lord Barusa. But the whole race becoming corrupt? I'm not so sure about that myself. On the upside, we have the amazingness that is Bernard Cribbins playing Wilfred Mott, grandfather to Donna Noble. Cribbins will be known to long-time fans of the show, I'm sure, as bungling Constable Tom Campbell from the 1966 film Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD. But here he plays a straight-down-the-line character who would have given his life for the Doctor, but who also acts in many respects as a mentor to the Doctor as well. Many fans wanted to see Wilf in the TARDIS, and End of Time gave them that wish. Overall, for me, Tennant's regeneration story was a good one, although I can understand why people didn't like it as much as previous Christmas offerings.
stabilize the orbit. We're finished.
There's nothing to look onto. I am flying blind.
I despise Christmas.
Christmas Eve on a rooftop, saw a chimney, my whole brain just went, what the hell?
There are 4,003 people in a spaceship trapped in your cloud belt. Without your help, they're going to die.
Yes.
Whatever happens tonight, remember, you brought it on yourself.
I never met him before tonight. I seem to have known him all my life. Who are you?
I'm a ghost of Christmas past.
He's changed my past, my whole life.
Nobody has to die.
Everybody has to die.
Not tonight.
Tonight's as good as any other night.
Time can be rewritten.
You tell the doctor. Tell him from me. People count.
We've had so many Christmas Eves, Kazran. I think it's time for Christmas Day.
Doctor! We can't hold this! Time's up! We're going down!
For me, Matt Smith's first Christmas outing was one of the most surreal adventures since the Tom Baker E-Space trilogy. Now, in fairness, part of that was down to the fact that I was still getting used to both Matt Smith as the Doctor and Stephen Moffat as the showrunner, something I'm still not used to. But seriously, flying fish? Okay, I know, I have no trouble accepting the TARDIS as being bigger on the inside as the norm, so what's wrong with a flying fish? Well, that's just it. Flying fish in Doctor Who isn't the norm. For me at this point the show was changing faster than I was comfortable with, and I was already forming my opinions of Moffat and his writing, and I wasn't enjoying the opinions that were forming. This story was inspired by the Dickens original novel, which was a bad starting point from my point of view anyway, but it does have two massive saving graces. Firstly, Michael Gambon as Kazran, and secondly, Catherine Jenkins as Abigail. Gambon was Dumbledore. Known to millions already by the time he came to play Kazran, this was a massive coup for the Doctor Who production team, and he was brilliant throughout, playing Kazran with incredible gravitas that made the character completely believable. Jenkins, on the other hand, was known for her singing, and, unbeknownst to Moffat, had never acted before. She was, however, perfect for the role, and even sang the song specially written for her. Still, despite these plus points, A Christmas Carol wasn't even close to a hit for me.
This Christmas is going to be the best Christmas ever.
I know.
That man is quite ridiculous. You must stay away from him. Why have you got a phone box in your room?
It's not a phone box, it's my wardrobe. Your brother, where is he?
Quickly, come on!
Where are we?
In a forest, in a box, in a sitting room. What do they teach you in schools these days?
Where are you from?
England. 1941. And there's a war on.
Sorry, Lily, I really am, but there is something very wrong in this forest. And your brother's right in the middle of it.
My husband is dead and they don't know yet, because if I tell them now, then Christmas will always be what took their father away from them, and no one should have to live like that.
But there's nothing you could say that would convince me you'd ever use that gun.
Oh, really? Well, I'm looking for my children.
Like many people, I grew up with the Narnia Chronicles, the series of books by renowned author C.S. Lewis. To many, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe will be the best known of these books, and indeed was made into a live-action film in 2005 by Walt Disney. So when The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe was announced, I was really wondering where on earth Moffat was going to take this, given what he'd already done to A Christmas Carol the previous year. As it turned out, I was wrong to be concerned. Aside from a mention of the Doctor's wardrobe and a snowy forest, this story took nothing from the C.S. Lewis book but the title. Matt Smith had grown on me by this time, and while there were times when his performance was a little manic, overall I enjoyed it. Like many people, I was disappointed by the underuse of both Bill Bailey and Arabella Weir. Not that I was looking forward to seeing Bailey in particular, but when I did see him I was impressed. But mention of Androzani Major soon had me watching for more classic series references, and while this was a very light-hearted bit of Christmas fluff, it was what it needed to be on Christmas Day.
There's a man called the Doctor. He lives on a cloud in the sky, and all he does, all day, every day, is to stop all the children in the world ever having bad dreams.
Am I going to have the nightmare tonight?
When you find something brand new in the world, something you've never seen before,
Doctor!
what's the next thing you look for?
Did you make this snowman? Because I wasn't there a second ago.
What's your name?
Clara.
What is this? I said I'd feed you. I didn't say who to.
Tomorrow the snow will fall and so shall mankind. I think winter is coming. Such a winter as this world has never known.
It will build an army of ice, and it will be the last day of humanity on this planet.
Run, you clever boy. And remember.
Once again, this story had something of a media build-up. The whole Clara Oswin Oswald story was starting to build, and having seen a little taster in Asylum of the Daleks, the thought was in many minds that the Clara story would be told and resolved in this Christmas special, so that we could then get back to enjoying normal Doctor Who when it returned the following March. Well, that was a huge disappointment as well, but then with Moffat's writing, more of us should have realised that we would have been left with more questions than answers before we started watching. However, a vast improvement on both A Christmas Carol and The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe, the Snowmen reintroduced us to the Great Intelligence, with the brilliant Ian McKellen voicing the part, and Richard E. Grant playing sidekick Dr. Simeon. Thanks to Grant's incredible performance, the sinister was brought back to Doctor Who for this Christmas special. The Snowmen were well realised and menacing, and the Clara storyline well explored and tantalising, but more than a little frustrating. And that's nearly all we have time for in this week's show. But before I go, you may recall me mentioning the Michael Grade effect at the top of the programme. For those not in the know, I'm referring to the root cause of Doctor Who's 18-month hiatus back in the time of the 6th Doctor. Well, Theta Sigma's Doctor Who podcast will be following suit, although not for 18 months. It's just that the next couple of weeks will be manically busy as I'm working over Christmas and then taking some time to recover over New Year. But panic not, the podcast will return in the new year with back-to-back looks at fan-favourite Doctor Who aliens, the Weeping Angels and the Silence. So until then, can I take this opportunity to thank all of you for your support over the last year or so, and wish you all a very happy Christmas and a blessed New Year.
Well, goodbye, my boy. You did quite well. Quite well. It's reassuring to know that my future is in safe hands.
Thank you for listening to Theta Sigma's Doctor Who podcast. Doctor Who and its associated shows are all copyright and property of the BBC, and no infringement is intended.